drinkers. So I'm just about to add some new whiskies to one of my Infinity bottles, and I thought I'd just go through the process, well, my process with you. There's no real right and wrong of how to create an Infinity bottle. If you wanted to start one yourself, all you're going to need is an empty bottle or decanter or jar, and you basically just add whatever amount you feel of your favourite whiskies to this bottle. And then obviously as you're drinking the bottle and you keep adding to the whiskey, that flavour profile is going to change over time as well, and it creates your own blend. Great for pulling out when you've got parties and people around. You can offer it out to people and you can guarantee that they've never tried this before because it's unique to you. I've got a couple on the go. This one here is a bourbon Infinity bottle that I've been adding to for the last year or so. And also you're probably going to want a little book as well to write down what whiskies you're putting into there, just to keep track of what you've got in. But as I say, it's not really had a chance to fill up because as I'm drinking the whiskey at the same time, this flavour's changing constantly. So the one that I'm adding to today is the single malt one that I've done, and I'll just talk you through the process. So there's no right or wrong when it comes to this process. No real science as such. You just need to decide what whiskies you're going to add to your Infinity bottle. Just a word of warning, just be very careful what you're adding to your Infinity bottle. Going for things that are heavily peated are going to have a large impact on the finished product, and you can quite easily cause your Infinity bottle to be overwhelmed with strong flavours like that. So try and keep your flavours to a similar sort of style of whiskey for best results. But that's personal preference. If you prefer to have a peated whiskey in your Infinity bottle, feel free to do that. I would potentially do a separate one for heavily peated whiskies. So you can just get a jar like I've got here, which you can pour your whiskies into to see your amounts that you're putting in. As I say, you can put as much or as little as you want in there. I like to try and keep the measurements the same. So as we start to add our whiskies to the little jar, just pour those into there. That little jar of mine there has got a spout which makes it easier to pour into the bottle. That's why I like using that. So we've already got the Old Putney in the jar. We've just added the Auchentoshan American Oak whiskey. Strathisla 12-year-old is the next one that we're pouring in there. Get that popped in. And then the next bottle is the Glenrothes 12-year-old, which is a nice drop. We're going to pop that into the jar as well. And then the final one is the Glenfiddich 14-year-old, which I believe is a Bourbon Barrel Reserve. Very nice drop that one is. So once you've got all your measures into your vessel, we can just pour that into your bottle or decanter. I've got this old decanter that I picked up from an antique shop a few months ago. That's what I like to use. It did have a glass stopper which I took out because it wasn't creating an airtight seal, so I just found a cork in the box of corks that I've got that fits that. So we'll just give that a little pour into my nosing glass and we'll give that a taste just to make sure that we're on the right track. So yeah, I hope you guys can give it a whirl yourselves and see what you come up with. Cheers. So there we go. So you can be as adventurous as you want. Add what you want, as much or as little of each whiskey as you want. Really important though, make sure that you write things down in a book, just so you can keep tabs of what you've got on the go. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.